Hi, my name is Ryan Strong, and this video is going to go over my PrototypeOne build for my storyboarding class. Start off with the initial scene that the player sees when they enter the game. So the initial scene that they're going to see here is the main menu scene. It has a title at the top and two buttons currently. The tutorial button to bring them to the first level, and then the credits button to bring them to the next. Those are really the only functionality that they have. So it's set up in here with a code that I created that's on a game manager script that I will go over in more detail in a little bit. But what it does is it loads the tutorial level when it's pressed. The credit scene we'll go to next real quick. Credit scene is just quick credits of game designer being myself when I created the tutorial level and all the assets that I had utilized for this, and it has a main menu button down here at the bottom to allow the player to go back to the original scene. So moving on to the tutorial level, so we have this pretty big screen here. This initial setup, the player doesn't see all of this stuff that's going on here. They're going to see a few initial things that are set up on the screen, and we'll kind of go over some of those as we go. So the motorbike was implemented from the MSK 2.2 here. It's a motorbike asset that I was given by Full Sail for use for this game. They helped me to purchase it. It has two different modes. I will be while using it in the computer, I will be utilizing the control mode of simple. That allows me to utilize the mouse and keyboard for controls primarily. I'll also show you the other version of touch real quick on the screen, and then in a separate video I will show a brief video of it working on an actual device. But in the meantime, we'll be set up to simple. The bike has everything set up for it automatically, so it makes it very easy. It's really just a kind of a drag and drop. For later use, I can add different body types to it to make it look a little bit different or different textures. The next thing that I have here is I have a road blocker that I set up. I set up two of them. The reason for this is because I don't want the player to go past this, but they're actually not able to go past it because I have a collider farther back that when they collide with that, it's a trigger that ends the game. And so those are set up there just more as an aesthetic thing so that they can see that, oh, we're coming up on a dead end, maybe I should stop. Well, it doesn't really affect them much. I have this billboard that I added. Currently it doesn't have anything on it. It's just kind of to help with the feeling of speed, which is the same thing that I'm trying to do with these fences on the sides here and the light posts on the left side. Terrain, I went in and manipulated myself. The reason for this was because I wanted to make sure that the loading of the game wasn't too intense it wasn't trying to look too far. The farther it tries to look, the more it has to load, so make it easier on the system that's trying to run the game. The main camera here is currently sitting off by itself up in the sky because it actually is utilized by the bike control here. It attaches to the actual bike, and it's done via the scripting in here. So you have a bike camera script that is created. You have the target where you add the actual target, which is your motorbike here, and then the biker man, the pelvis, which is kind of the centralmost part of the player's body, and that's in here. That makes it to where it lines up properly for use in the game. I can manipulate a little bit of the stuff here, but the way it's set up, it really actually works out very well as is. It also has the ability to switch the camera view. I currently have it set to 0 because I want to leave it for this tutorial level at just a standard position behind the bike. And then the bike UI here. You have the bike UI, which actually goes along with the tachometer, which I will show you in a bit. It helps to manipulate the different functions to let the player see how fast they're going, see what their speed is with the needle and with text, and also see what gear that they are currently in. There's audio clips set up, so I added a separate audio source to the main camera because I wanted to have just a little background music for the tutorial level. So I just added this small clip that I found on the asset store. My road network. So my road network here is this entire stretch of road that you see that goes from start back here to finish all the way over here. So it's I utilized Easy Roads 3D to completely create the road. It allowed me to drag and drop specific pointers, and then I could click on individual pointers if I needed to kind of move the road a little bit, making it very easy for actually creating this this map. The canvas, I have quite a few canvases here, so what I'm going to do is I'll go over each one individually. So I will select all of them and turn them off and turn on individual ones that I'm going to talk about. So this first canvas here, this is the main canvas that the player sees. This is their actual user interface. So up here, this is the tachometer that I was talking about. It's got your actual speed bar, and then it's got your text here for speed in kilometers per hour, and I could change that to miles per hour if need be. It's just currently set to kilometers per hour on here, but in the game I believe I have it set to miles per hour for the way it's set up. And this here, this 0, the white one, is actually for the gear selection. The N here, this is actually your nitro boost. Currently it's set up to where it can just automatically be used, and as the player goes, it'll drain if they use it, and then after an amount of time it starts to fill back up. The big pedal here, this is the accelerate pedal. It's there for, this is all for the full touch purpose of the game. Later on I'll be implementing accelerometer and gyroscopic use to where a lot of these buttons will go away, but currently there's the accelerate button here. You have the regular brake, and then right above it is the handbrake. The handbrake actually allows the player to slow down much faster and provides a pretty cool particle effect to it. Then you have the left and right buttons here. That's for left and right turning. And then this N here, that's your actual nitro boost that goes along with this here. This little pause button up here, this is how I decided to implement the pausing for the game, which also brings up a little HUD that I will show you in a moment that lets the player know, okay, the game is paused, and that they can select different options. So the pause menu looks like this. It's 3 buttons with a title. The buttons do different things. So you have the main menu, which currently takes you straight back to that main menu screen, that first one that I showed you that was all red. And then you have the credits button, which will allow you to go to the credits scene again if you so wish. And then you have a skill tree button here. The skill tree button will actually pop up another HUD, which brings up a skill tree. So currently the skill tree is set up to where there's only the 3 different things, and these actually correspond to the license that the player would receive. It's going to be changed a little bit as we go. I mean, I'll have more skills that go along with it, but currently it's set up as such to make it to where the player will go through and get the different licenses. And what would happen is the initial image, how it's set up is you have, for the sports bike here, you have the license, but you have a license cover. So this license cover, once they unlock it, this will be disabled, and it'll show the actual license to the driver. And it's just a basic image that I put together in Photoshop that I think kind of does what it needs to. I might change it from drive to ride, but for now I think this kind of works. And so that's pretty much it for the tutorial stuff. other than, or the canvas stuff, other than the tutorial canvas. The tutorial canvas automatically pops up the second the player starts the game. What this does is it indicates to the player, okay, this is how you play the game. So press this button to make the bike move forward. To turn, press these. To slow down, press this. Hit the pause button to access the menu. And then they'd click continue, and it would continue for them, allowing them to do what they need to. So let me turn these all back on.
Robin Hood and Little John.
And sorry about that. So that's the main things for the game. A lot of this is thankfully very easy when it comes to the tutorial portion. It was a lot of just kind of drag and drop. So I'll go through now and just show how a full game would run. I don't need to save that. That way you can kind of see. I have the music turned on so that hopefully you can hear it with all the sounds. But we'll go ahead and go through real quick. So this is the initial screen that pops up, Racer 1. I can go to the two different things. So I'll go to the credits first. Credits immediately brings me to my credits scene here, which works out pretty well. And then main menu button, right back to this main menu. Get to the tutorial, and the game is paused, as you can see. I set it up to where it automatically pauses the game from the get-go. I'll actually go over the scripting just a little bit after this, but just wanted to get you a rough idea on how it all looks. So again, I have it currently set up to where I'm going to use the keys, the keyboard primarily for control, and the mouse. So they read it, press continue, it automatically brings them to here. And I can drive forward, move from left to right, and hit the back button to slow down, which also allows the player to back up. And I can go forward and hit another key for the nitrous boost. And if I need to slow down really quick, you hit the space bar and it gives that kind of full particle effect. Click on the pause button here, and it actually brings up this pause menu like I said before. And then you click on the skill tree. I have to manipulate it a little bit because I don't want these to be as big, but you can kind of see everything that's in there. And you go back to close, it'll bring you right back to this pause menu. And just hit pause again and then continue on. You go through all the track, you can see that it's everything kind of moves pretty fast by. It's got a pretty cool crash animation to it if you were to rest, like that. And then it puts the player right back on the bike. And then we'll just go quickly to the finish so you can see it load the credit scene, because that's what ends the game. And there, it brings you right back to the credit scene there, and that's the end of the tutorial level. So let me go back to these scenes real quick and go to this tutorial level again. And we will go to the game manager, I believe is the one I want. So the game manager, I have it set up to where I put a public canvas in of all the canvases that I'm currently using in the game, some that I'm not currently using but might implement at another time. And that allows me to drag and drop them into the actual game object to make sure that they show up properly. So what I implemented was the pause here. So for the pause, if the pause status is true, then I want all time in the game to stop. So I get time scale equals 0, and the audio listener to pause as well. This makes it so that the actual game stops and all the music and any other sound effects stop. And that's automatically implemented from the start when I do the tutorial canvas, because I set my game pause status to true, and I have the tutorial menu canvas enabled to true as well. Once I click continue button, that will make the tutorial canvas go away, which is this remove tutorial canvas here. Makes it false and makes the game pause status false, starting the game. Same thing happens for the pause menu, which is right here. The pause button, if it's if it's not paused, then make it true, and it pauses the game and brings up the menu. And game pause button, set to true, set to false. I also in here have my, currently, since it's my game manager script, I also have the different levels that load up for me set up in here with the application load level. And it makes it very easy for designing all this, doing it this way. I had a few issues initially when I was trying to do this because I was trying to make it to where when the things were called, it automatically did the time stuff in the actual script, but or in the actual function, but it wasn't working out properly, which was why you see all of these commented out areas that I haven't really deleted yet. And instead, in the update function here, it calls everything else out. So that is my tutorial level in kind of in a nutshell. I'm going to go ahead and switch over and make another video of the game running on my Android device, and that will be uploaded as a separate video just to save on space. So I hope you enjoyed. Have a good one.